Yo, check it. Alright, what up fam? You are back for another video. FOMC dump as predicted. What does it mean for SPY? What does it mean for Bitcoin and the meme stocks? Where are we headed next? I'm going to break that all down using charts, facts, and technicals in this video. We've been on point crushing SPY, telling you guys the predictions and updates and being exactly on point. Also, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency pulling back with the general market. I'm going to let you guys know where I think we're headed on the micro and macro. And what does this all mean for the meme stocks? Let's not waste any more time. Hop in the charts, facts, data. Let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are back for another video with DataZero. In this video, we're looking at AMC, GME, SPY, the overall stock and crypto market. Today, things got insane. We had FOMC and dumped it as predicted. So hopefully you were able to play puts, SQQQ calls, and make a bag today. I know a few people in the family did. If you didn't, man, make sure you lock in, pay attention, hit that like button, and subscribe. Of course, it's not financial advice. You got to do your own research. But if you find validity in what I'm saying, then maybe you could take action after doing your own research and make a bag yourself. Let's go ahead and hop in the charts, facts, data, showing you guys what's going on for today. This video is not financial advice. So the first thing I want to point out here, man, is SQQQ absolutely getting a massive pump to the upside after doing an 11% day. Also up here in after hours, SQQQ is a hedge against the bubble that I've been talking about has building. And I'm going to talk about this more in the SPY section, but I just want to point this out, this massive move from SQQQ and this massive dump from SPY. I told you guys we had popped to the upside. We would consolidate after getting those gap fills and then drop down around FOMC, and that's exactly what we saw. So like and subscribe for accurate predictions on SPY, crypto, and much more. Now, as far as what this means for the meme stocks is, again, it is natural to see a pullback after having such a massive dump to the downside in the general markets. Day traders, swing traders, stuff like that would be taking profit. They'll get spooked, paper hands basically. People that are in for the trade, they'll get spooked, they'll take profit. But the people that are actually holding is what will keep this thing up. Now, I think the meme stocks, AMC and GME, are actually going to see a recovery tomorrow, and I'm going to talk about that and break that down. But I also want to show you guys in this video on what you could possibly expect if we do start to see this bubble pop and the market crash come into play. And I talked about this numerous times on my channel, that there would be a time where the market starts to top out, we go into a recession, Bitcoin will slowly start to decouple from the stock market, the meme stocks will start to trend up, because if you look at what's going on, the meme stocks are starting to trend up. Monthly MACD green, GameStop in an overall uptrend after breaking out of a falling wedge, AMC monthly MACD green, and also trending up after making this move up, accumulating and trying to trend up. So AMC pushing up, GameStop pushing up, building bullish momentum on the macro. And I told you guys this would correlate with SPY starting to top out. SPY would start to top out and then start to trend down, and then that could potentially usher in a margin call type squeeze where we see much higher levels than we could have seen without a market crash. With the market crash in play, we could see much higher levels on a potential short squeeze or run on AMC and GME. And I'm not saying this to hype you guys up. This is simple facts, okay? Because of margin calls, because of the way liquidity works, because the facts that they use stocks like Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft as collateral for AMC short positions, they would have to either close the positions or post more collateral as these assets lose value. So you can see here, just for an example, I'm not saying Volkswagen is AMC, but I'm showing you this for historical context and an example of a real proof of concept of a short squeeze that happened during a market crash. So you can see here, 2008, look at the bottom of your screen, October 2008, you can see that around April, July, and October, Volkswagen started to trend up. But then we got a massive dump to the downside. But then Volkswagen, after hitting a low, absolutely squeezed to the moon. Now here's the chart for SPY 2008. You can see that it started to trend down from April, June, July, started to trend down. Then we got the full capitulation, okay? So market starts topping out. It starts trending down, okay? Now look what's happening with SPY. Possibly starting to top out. Then we start trending down. What if we capitulate? Okay, so I want you guys to be ready. What could happen? You could see the meme stocks as they're trending up. You could see the meme stocks get a massive drop down and still squeeze. I want you guys to understand that. You could see a massive dump down before a pump up. And this is my research. This is my due diligence. You guys have to do your own research and due diligence, because let's say it squeezes down and then doesn't come back to the upside. That is on your call. Or let's say it squeezes down and you sell. That is all on you guys. This is what I'm doing. I'm holding the shares no matter what. Now, that doesn't mean we can necessarily see that dump to the downside, but it is a very, very clear possibility that on the macro, this could be happening, where you see the meme stock start to trend up as the market tops out. Then we get the capitulation that brings the meme stocks down before seeing a big pop to the upside. The same way we seen it in 2008, you start to trend down. Once you get the capitulation, which you did here in October, that's when you see a dump to the downside and then a rapid pump to the upside. Same way you've seen here on Volkswagen, you start to trend up, then you get that capitulation, you dump down hard, but then you see a massive pump to the upside. So no matter what happens, me personally, I'm holding because of what I believe could be happening if we do see SPY get utter capitulation. Now let me define capitulation for you guys. That means a panic selling. That means not just trending down like you've seen here in 2008, but pure panic selling. Absolute straight monthly candles. This is monthly candles down, big candles down. So that's what I'd be looking at for SPY. But right now, it looks like SPY potentially is going to be topping out. RSI overbought on the monthly time frame. Last time RSI got this high, we had this major pullback all year here from 2022 into 2023. Now we had this massive rally. RSI overbought once again. And on the weekly time frame, bearish divergence, RSI trending down as price trends up, volume trending down as price trends up. That lets me know that SPY is topping out, and with this candle that we just got on FOMC and what I believe to be emergency rate cuts from the Fed, the writing is on the wall. Unemployment is going higher, plus we're possibly getting a bad GDP report tomorrow. GDP is expected to come out lower than the previous, which could send the market down even further. Again, I don't want to get ahead of myself because we could easily see a bounce on the way down, but what we're looking at here could literally be the start of the market crash, and I do believe there's not going to be a Christmas rally, and this could actually be very, very good for the meme stocks. Now, you can already see that AMC and GME are starting to recover here in after hours, and I'm actually expecting to see a possible recovery tomorrow. GameStop actually came down and filled that gap that I was worried about, so that is good news on GameStop's part, coming down and filling that gap. I think we'll be able to see a pop back to the upside. If we get back above 30 and can hold that level, that's going to be very, very good news for us, especially if we can hold that level as the market's pulling back, okay? Now, I want you guys to be very, very clear of some signs to look at in case we do get margin calls or capitulation. I know some people just throw out these things, margin calls and stuff like that, but what I'm seeing, you guys know I don't BS you. What I'm seeing here with the SPY dumping like this, you could get some margin calls. With NASDAQ dumping like this, you could get some margin calls. With the major stocks like Apple, Nvidia starting to pull back, you could get some margin calls. So if you were to see something like that, what you would see is either in after hours or during the market, maybe like around 2 p.m., you would see a massive spike to the upside all of a sudden. It would be a 5, 10, 15, 20% move. So if you start to see that, that's going to be signs that things are starting to pop off. Also, meme stocks are starting to get liquidity dried up. Again, it's not crazy, but you can see that cost to borrow is starting to pick up here for AMC, 0.95%. It was over 1%. We want to see 1% or higher, obviously much higher than that, but it is ticking in the right direction. So cost to borrow is picking up for the meme stocks. Cost to borrow dropping here for GameStop. It was picking up, but it's dropping down 0.295% at time of recording right now, and they dumped a ton of shares on GameStop. Only 850,000 shares available to short for GME, and time of recording right now, 2.5 million available for AMC. It seems like they're holding on to these 2.5 million shares because they didn't short much today, so they could be waiting for something, as AMC was making a nice recovery but then started getting a pullback with the general market, which is fine. AMC is still holding the key levels of $4, and I don't think we'll be dropping below $4 in my personal opinion. What you can see AMC is actually doing, it's retesting. So you always have a breakout and then you have a retest before pushing back up. Okay, so we broke out from the sloping support and resistance. We come back down, retest. What I think we're doing is retesting, and that's going to allow us to push back to the upside, back towards 450, believe it or not. And I think GameStop came back down to fill the gap. It might come a little bit lower, but you can see that we're still having this overall uptrend for GameStop, and we're holding that overall uptrend. So I really don't see no issue on why GameStop won't be bouncing back to the upside. Also, you can see here that we have these buy orders here for GameStop that GameStop is now in, and GameStop also is retesting this bullish pennant. You have your breakout, then you come back down, and then you pop to the upside. And I also want to show you guys something that happened back in historical with these bull flags. We had a very similar setup where we had to drop all the way back down. You got a nasty move to the upside, but then you just popped all the way back down, but the next thing you know it, you're absolutely ripping. And of course that comes out with the breakout, retest, and then you break out. That's how these patterns work. And if you look at what's happening here for GameStop, we had our breakout. Now we're possibly retesting. If we confirm this as support, you're going to get your movement back to the upside. And same thing for AMC. We're breaking out, and you can see we're up slightly here in after hours. And I'll show you guys on the micro what I expect. But we're breaking out. Now we're retesting. We're probably going to get a bounce back to the upside. And we're probably going to see a recovery tomorrow for AMC and GME. AMC, if it holds 409 and gets back above that level, then it's going to head back towards 423. If we can get above 423, then we can start heading towards 441. GameStop most likely is going to go back for 29.25 tomorrow. It needs to hold 28.64 to do that. If we get back above 29.25, then we can start heading back towards that $30 level. I told you guys that gap fill to the downside had to be filled, and it did get filled. So that is good news for GameStop. We're up here slightly in after hours, and I think we're going to see a recovery. But notice this. SPY not necessarily recovering. It's getting a little bit of bounce, but SPY not necessarily recovering. NASDAQ down here in after hours. SQQQ up here in after hours. Ladies and gentlemen, with the SPY doing what it's doing, it is very, very possible that we could see an explosive movement out of nowhere for the meme stock. So again, and it's not over until it's over, ladies and gentlemen. This thing could literally, because the setup that's happening now, like I told you guys, the macro, this time would come where SPY starts to top out, recession would start to fade in, and the meme stocks would start to wake up. I told you guys once we get capitulation, and I told you guys this stuff would start to happen. I know people, oh, he's been saying the same stuff, and it's the macro. It takes time, okay? But now that we're slowly getting in position, we are closer to ever to actually seeing something significant here. So with the short squeeze, okay, with the market crash in play, we could actually see something, okay? And I always told you guys that really we needed the market crash in order to squeeze these shorts, because they've been fighting tooth and nail the whole time. We basically need the whole market to be melting down. That way they're just worried about everything getting margin called, and it's complete chaos. That's when we get them off guard, when their back's completely against the wall because they have 100 other problems all at the same time. They cannot just deal with this AMC, spending money on AMC and GME, shorting AMC and GME, trying to maintain a short position. So this is what I'm looking at for the meme stocks. I do think we're going to see a recovery, in my personal opinion. If you were to see the SPY absolutely just start to tank, don't be surprised if you see the meme stocks pull back with it. Now, where we're at now, this could be the start of the market crash, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. But I'm going to move into the SPY section so I can kind of explain to you guys where we're at and what I'm looking at as far as technicals and the market crash and everything else. So let's go ahead and go into SPY and show you guys some key levels to look at and what I'm looking at here on the chart. So NASDAQ, I wouldn't be surprised if it got a little bit of recovery, maybe retesting this rising wedge, but I want to make it very, very clear that NASDAQ is breaking down out of this massive macro rising wedge, which is going to see it dropping down hard. Now, the key movers for the market is just completely red today, absolute craziness. The only thing that was green was healthcare, because people are going to need health insurance and healthcare after this market crash when they're done getting all of the stress. But you can see that the dollar is rising, which I told you guys is going to be an issue. Dollar goes up, market goes down. Dollar is rising because of the rate cuts, okay? Rate cuts provide a risk-on environment. This is why I think crypto is going to decouple, but you could see a general pullback. And also small and mid-cap stocks are going to do better, but you could see a general pullback with the overall market. VIX is up 74%, okay? So VIX is up. That normally means the market is going to Dude, the VIX is up crazy. That means the market's going to go down. Dollar is up. That's going to put pressure on Bitcoin, but it's also going to put a lot of pressure on the market as well. I told you guys the dollar looks like it's setting up for a bullish move up, and it could go even much higher, which would bring the market down even more. We're breaking down out of a massive rising wedge here on NASDAQ. This could very, very, very well be the start of the total market crash, the bubble being popped. I think that the Fed basically got caught lying today. I think the market sees very, very clear because they keep cutting rates 50, now 25, that they're cutting emergency rate cuts even though inflation's not down to where the target should be. They're pushing the goalpost out for inflation, and unemployment is rising. And if we get this bad GDP, that's going to confirm that the economy is actually not growing, okay? Because you can see GDP's actually been coming down. If we get another one, that's consecutive quarters of no growth. So the Fed's not going to have anything to lie about and keep saying the economy is good, and all of the data points to it. So the writing is becoming more and more apparent on the wall that something is wrong and the economy is not as strong as they would like you to believe, even though we all know that because we feel it in our wallets because we're normal people, and inflation really hurts us. But you can see that the key stocks that are holding up the market, like Nvidia, the one that's been creating this bubble, and Apple, are following my prediction and topping out. Apple, I told you guys, would pop to the upside one more time before topping out. Apple now breaking this downtrend, which means uptrend, which means Apple's most likely going to start trending down towards 235.95, taking the market with it in a big way. Apple's been way overextended. RSI trending down while price trending up, so it has bearish divergence. RSI completely overbought on the daily time frame. It's now starting to get lower because it broke down. RSI overbought on the weekly time frame and on the monthly time frame. This stock is completely overvalued in my personal opinion, and it has a long way down, and it's going to be taking the market with it. Apple and Nvidia coming down in conjunction is just going to make it absolutely capitulate. These stocks are overvalued. You can see that Nvidia is breaking down out of a massive rising wedge with a head and shoulders in play. Right here's your shoulder, right here's your head, right here's your shoulder. I think Nvidia is going to be coming down to 119.50 minimum. There's a gap fill down there. I think it's actually going to be coming down towards 109 or lower, but it's breaking down on this rising wedge now, and now Apple's pulling back, and then the third heavyweight, in my personal opinion, Microsoft, is also starting to pull back, and all of these pulling back at the same time is just going to be absolutely devastating. But on top of that, we have the whole entire market red. So all of the SPY stocks are pulling back. That's why you're going to see SPY absolutely capitulated. It is way overvalued in my personal opinion. And I told you guys moving into 2025, you would see stocks start to pull back, maybe even move sideways, choppy, but it's mostly going to be down in my personal opinion. I believe 2025 is where crypto will start to decouple and move away from the stock market. I believe people will actually start taking profits from the stock market and moving into crypto, but I believe crypto is actually going to be replacing the stock market down the road. But I think some of the money is going to be coming out of the stock market into crypto. Right now you can see GameStop following my after hours prediction up 1% here, and I think we're going to see recovery in the meme stocks. This is showing you guys that we're going to see that. I think we're actually going to see more downside for SPY. I wouldn't be surprised if we got some bounce back to the upside for SPY, but at this point the downtrend is so strong that you are going to see more downside. It's guaranteed. We're getting the red week that I predicted for SPY. I told you guys red week this week. We're definitely getting that red week. Looking for a green week here for GameStop and AMC. AMC needs to recover to get that green week. GameStop still with the green week. So I think we will see AMC and GME recover. I think SPY is going to get a little bit of a bounce tomorrow, coming up to maybe like 588, 589.25, 588.10, maybe as high as 590. 591, around that range, but I think we will start to pull back and continue down, and I think we're actually going to see more downside tomorrow as well, in my personal opinion. But we need a little bit of a bounce because RSI is crazy oversold. So I think we'll see a little bit of a bounce, but I don't even need to pop on the alligator. The momentum to the downside is just insane, bro. It's insane. RSI very oversold, so we'll definitely be getting a bounce. But this is insane, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. I told you guys during the live stream, if we lost 595.41, we would dump even further, and that's exactly what we see. The next key level, if we lose, which is going to be this 586.32. If we lose that, then you're going to dump down even further, and there's a massive gap here. I don't know if you guys see that gap here on the daily time frame. It's absolutely huge. If we start eating into that gap, it's just going to keep dumping. And there's little to no support here. It's basically built on air. So once we do start losing these levels, these key levels that I have marked in yellow or gold or whatever you want to call it, it's just going to dump. So things are not looking good for SPY, and this very well could be the top of the market like I suggested, and we could start seeing an overall downtrend. And I believe that there is not going to be a Christmas rally. I've seen some influencers talking about a Christmas rally, and I just felt so bad for their followers because I knew they were going to get rug pulled so bad. So this is what we're looking at for SPY. I do expect more downside moving into the crash that I predicted for 2025. Again, macro plays out. When in doubt, zoom out. Again, we had that bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. All of the things telling me it just takes time to play out. So I think we're going to see more downside for SPY, heading down towards 583.96 in my personal opinion as early as tomorrow. So that's what I'm looking at for SPY in the overall stock market. Let's go ahead and move into crypto and wrap up this video. So obviously altcoins are going to be getting hit hard as Bitcoin pulled back. Bitcoin had this overall head and shoulders. Right here's your head, right here's your shoulder, or right here's your shoulder, right here's your head, right here's your shoulder. That's going to take Bitcoin down to 100,000. We are trying to hold support here at 100,000. If we can hold support, we'll probably get a little bit of bounce, but I would expect a general pullback with the overall market, even if we are going to decouple like I'm theorizing, and then, like I said, an uptrend. But right now, on the micro for Bitcoin, what I have for the next couple of days, I see a bounce, but we might come as low as 98K or 100K, again, retesting that level as support and then getting a push to the upside. We do have this trend line for Bitcoin that we have not broken yet, so Bitcoin's still in an overall uptrend, and I believe that we got a general pullback. Sometimes, and this might sound crazy to people, they sell Bitcoin for liquidity because it's a very liquid asset. So sometimes when you see a pullback, in order to avoid margin calls or get liquidity on the balance sheet or whatever the case may be, they sell Bitcoin to get that cash on their books. So that does happen. Bitcoin does get sold for liquidity, especially as it's starting to move into the institutional world. But again, with the ETFs, with the bullish crypto president in 2025, with a possible bullish SEC, with a possible Bitcoin reserve, I'm still extremely bullish on Bitcoin, and I believe that crypto is going to decouple from the overall stock market, and this bull run is not over, even if we did see a market crash. Now, if we see the market crash, I expect a general pullback, but at this point, I think we would see a point where there would be an inflection and Bitcoin and the crypto market would decouple. Since it's not altcoin season yet, and since Bitcoin dominance is still high, if Bitcoin pulls back, altcoins are going to pull back in a big way, and you can actually see that here happening today. Altcoins taking major hits across the board. XRP 9.5%, XLM 8%. That's just natural to see while we're in this type of stage in the crypto market. If Bitcoin pulls back, altcoins are going to take an even worse hit until Bitcoin dominance goes down, until Ethereum dominance comes up, and until we move into that altcoin season. But I actually expect Bitcoin to get a little bit of recovery here. You can see that the market, the general market's actually still down, but Bitcoin's starting to recover and the meme stocks are starting to recover. AMC up 1% here in after hours, GameStop up 1% here in after hours, and Bitcoin getting some recovery. Giving, again, it's not happening now, it's macro, but giving you guys some credence to show you that even though SPY and NASDAQ pull back, these other assets could go up. And the reason why, it's because the concentration for SPY and NASDAQ have been in these tech stocks like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, the AI bubble, and these are the stocks that are going to pull back, pulling the market back. That doesn't necessarily affect everything else. That's why the valuations are so high, and that's why they'll drop so fast, because those stocks will drop and the market's been concentrated in that, and that doesn't necessarily affect everything else. But some of the same people do trade, and again, Bitcoin can get sold for liquidity, so they are intertwined and connected, but not necessarily. So This is why I think Bitcoin can decouple. We are seeing a pullback in overall altcoins, but as far as where I have prices going for Bitcoin, I have a little bit of recovery, maybe dropping back down to 198K, but I think relatively that's where we'll find support. Maybe retesting this trend line and then continue up, in my personal opinion. We just had this head and shoulders, and then we had that drop down, dollar pushing up, which is going to put some pressure on BTC. But Bitcoin has been performing very well against the dollar, and it's looking very, very good for my decoupling theory to play out. So this is what I'm looking at for the cryptocurrency market. Hopefully you found the video informative. If you did, go ahead and drop a like. Press subscribe for more content like this. And if you're watching this right now, man, I truly appreciate it. And if you watch the end, I truly appreciate it. So few people watching the end, and it helps me out a ton. If you want to support the channel in a different way, copy yourself some drip. All you have to do is check out the merch store, link down below. I also have a membership you can join as well, $2.99 a month. All of that stuff is linked down in the comment section and description. But if you want to support the channel for absolutely free, just leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share, and that helps me out a ton because it pushes it out to more people, and that allows more people to get the information and for everyone to make money. DZ fam, it's been a great day. Hopefully you were prepared. SQQQ holders, SPY puts, we had official plays in the Discord. Discord is on sale for $50 right now for a lifetime invite. Price is going to be going up after the sale. There's only 8 slots left. So if you want to get in that, hit me up on my email, DataZeroOfficial5, which is also linked down below, where I called out the alerts for SPY puts and GameStop calls, and we did very, very well on those this week, as you can see how those played out. So if you want to get involved in that, start making some bread, hit me up. But other than that, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace.
Alright, y'all, that's the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like. Press subscribe for more content like this. Remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more DataZero updates. Discord's on sale for $50 right now. Only 8 slots left for the Christmas sale. If you want to get involved in that, hit me up on my email, DataZeroOfficial5, link down in the comment section description below. I appreciate it if you all watch the end to see this message, because so few people do, and it helps me out a ton. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace.